So yes, it is Fellowship Sunday, but like most things in the world right now, it is unlike any Fellowship Sunday we've experienced before either. The Fellowship, if you didn't know, is actually a Canada-wide organization of Baptist churches, and we are part of the Pacific region of that gathering of churches. So about 100 churches through BC and Yukon, and normally this past week we would have been at our kind of AGM, or what they call Impact, and gathering together hundreds of pastors and church leaders from around the province, gathering together to hear about what God's doing, vote on business of our region and all kinds of things, but obviously that's not able to happen this year either. As we celebrate Fellowship Sunday as a church, one of the kind of highlights of that has always been just hearing different stories from around the fellowship. They often prepare videos to let us know, hey, this is what's happening here and what's happening here. A lot of those plans got thrown off as well, and so just trying to put something together, what I did is I just reached out to a whole bunch of different pastors and church ministry leaders from around our region, just said, can you give us just a quick snapshot of just one little quick snapshot of what God is doing in your church here in our region during this COVID-19 pandemic, just to give us an encouragement of how God is at work in our region. So I'm going to share that with you now as we celebrate this Fellowship Sunday together.
My name is Kent Anderson, and I'm president of Northwest Seminary and College, a ministry of our Fellowship Pacific churches. I'm thankful for the resilience of God's people in this difficult time. We know that God is faithful, and we know that His church will survive and flourish. But I've been encouraged to see how God's people have embraced the reality of that faith. I've seen it in our faculty, in our staff, and especially in our students. And for that, I'm giving glory to God.
Good morning. My name is Ben Hall. I'm the lead pastor of Shuswap Community Church. When I think of the unexpected blessings that this season of pandemic has brought on our church, I think the first and foremost is the heart of our people. We've seen a lot of acts of generosity, a lot of acts of kindness. But what really stands out is the source of that activity, and that's a peace that resides in the hearts of everyone because of a trust in a good God.
My name is Dana. I'm the Director of Connections and Communications at Maple Ridge Baptist Church. We have a Syrian family that our church is sponsoring that have been here for about 3 months, and the gentleman in their family was a seamstress back in Syria, and he has shown an outpouring of love to his brand new community and has sewn over 400 of these masks out of sheets that people are giving him, and we've been able to bless our community with those.
Hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm the lead pastor here at Maple Ridge Baptist Church. And one of the ways that we've seen God work in beautiful ways among our church during these days is just the kind of creativity that our church has shown towards one another in finding ways to connect and to care and to support and to love one another, and then of course to look out for their neighbors as well. So we're excited to see what God is doing. We just know that He will work in the midst of all of this.
Hi, I'm Steve Campbell, pastor at Dallas Barnertville Baptist Church in Kamloops. I'm seeing God renewing our desire to see our neighbors reached with the gospel.
Hey everyone, Steve Sumby from Sandwich Baptist Church here. We've seen God work in some amazing ways over the past few weeks. One example of that is God has been calling the people of our church to meet needs at a whole new level. And it has been inspiring to see the church rise up and meet the needs of people both inside the church and those in the city. Through our food bank and other initiatives, God is moving.
Kyle here from Emmanuel Church in Abbotsford. One of the ministries we have here at the church is a food bank type ministry that we call the Red Tree Pantry, in which people from our community can come access food when they are in need. And so hundreds of pounds of food just keep rolling in to our church each and every week, and we're giving that out to those in need, and we're celebrating how we get to serve so many underserved people in our community, and God really has been stirring in the hearts and lives of those people that we're reaching out to.
Hey everyone, Pastor Matt here from Westside Fellowship Church in Kamloops. Through this crisis, I have been seeing God deepen people's generosity as well as developing their creativity and sharing the love of Jesus with others. One of my favorite stories is that people found a way to bring the messages that we were putting online to those who didn't have the internet. But they're taking their phones and holding them up to the speakers so that those who don't have the internet can listen in and still be a part of our church community.
Fellowship Pacific Church is Darren Phillips from Ocean View Community Church here in Ladysmith. I have seen God at work during the COVID-19 pandemic through drop-offs. We don't need to be hugging each other at this time, but we can drop something off on the doorstep, have a good social distancing conversation. My daughters have been baking up a storm. Look at these cupcakes, far better than anything I could ever do. They gave some to their church friends as well as their unchurched, non-Christian friends. Phenomenal response, opened up huge lines of communication. Our children's ministry for Easter did 25 baskets for families, found out how many kids were in each family, made up these baskets, incredible response. We did another 20 for our youth, and representing over 100 kids in total.
Hi, my name is Paul Park, and I serve as a pastor at a church called South Delta Baptist Church in Tawasin. Even though we're walking through some of the most challenging times as a community right now, we're really seeing God work powerfully in our midst. He's really helping us grow in our love for one another and our appreciation for the family of God that we have in our church. So we're very thankful for the mighty things that our God is doing all over the world, even though we are walking through some challenging times right now.
Well, hello Fellowship family. Krista Penner here from Fellowship Pacific, working out of my home office in Mission. But I am seeing God at work. I'm seeing God at work in the lives of the people that I live with. I'm seeing God at work in my own life. God is giving us a little bit of a glimpse and a wake-up call to His power at work through us, for us, and for those around us.
Is Barton Preeb, and I pastor Central Baptist Church in Victoria. One way that I see God at work during this present crisis is to awaken His people from spiritual slumber. And that's happening in all kinds of wonderful ways. People getting their priorities right, people starting to deal with family issues that they've left for too long, people praying more, people beginning to seek God and make sure that their lives are being used for His glory.
Redmond, Sunbury Bible Camp. God never ceases to move, never ceases to change who He is amidst our changing circumstances. And God's using the church so marvelously through these times, being flexible to what's going on and using His people to draw new believers in. We see that through watch parties. Non-believers coming, their curiosity spiking, peaking, as they draw into these things and ask questions, and relationships are built through that.
Hey there, Sean here from Mountainside Community Church in Fernie. We formed something called the Elk Valley COVID Support Team, and it's a team that coordinates getting groceries and medicines for people in our community who are vulnerable. It's had a huge impact in our community. Both mayors of Sparwood and Fernie are enthusiastically on board. We've kind of become the funnel for all community support for a bunch of organizations have now kind of come and gone on board and submitted their volunteers to join our team.
How's it going? My name is Chris Sonsol, one of the elders at West Village Church in Victoria, British Columbia. We have just seen like a lot of people engaging in our digital expression as a church. So even just this week, we've had 3 or 4 people completely unchurched who have been exposed to our content either through a friend or just through happenstance, through the providence of God. And they're tracking with us. We don't know, we're still trying to figure out what to do with that. We're trying to figure out what that means. But they're commenting, they're engaging in our content, they're returning, they're participating in other things that we're offering as a church.
Hey, my name's Karen Anderson, and I work with Baptist Housing as a chaplain at Clarendon Court in Shannon Oaks. And during this time, there's been a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry and fear of what's going on, but also a lot of gratitude. Our residents are very thankful for all that the team is doing. I work with an amazing group of people who are very dedicated to making sure our residents are safe and well cared for and loved. And so I am very grateful for the team that surrounds me.
Hello there, I'm
Brent Chapman, the lead pastor at Southridge Church in Langley, and we have seen some amazing generosity within our church. Since the crisis started, we have had over $18,000 given to our benevolence fund, which allows us to meet tons of needs in our church and in our community, which is just amazing. And second, we have had 4 people express the desire to be obedient to Jesus and get baptized. And so in the next couple of weeks, we're trying to figure out how to do some COVID-19 baptisms.
Hello everyone, Pastor Mark Carroll here from Parkland Fellowship Baptist Church in Surrey. One of the ways that I've seen God working in the midst of this pandemic here at Parkland is through a deepening of our sense of the importance of community. We knew before the pandemic, we knew in our heads at least, that the idea of community was important, but now that face-to-face gatherings have been taken away, God is deepening our dependence on one another in some really amazing ways, and I'm grateful to God for it.
Hey, my name is Dustin. I'm the pastor of Redemption Community Church, and I have loved seeing how God's been at work inspiring the hearts of His people to really demonstrate their love for one another. We talk all the time about being a community blessing church and helping the under-resourced, but what's been really special for me as a pastor is to see the people of my church looking to one another to make sure that no one is being overlooked within our family of faith. And so to hear stories of individuals proactively seeking out those who might be isolated or suffering or struggling in a particular way, and when finding out of needs, just generously offering spiritual support, emotional help, practical help, and even generous financial gifts being given around, it's been a beautiful thing, and it's one of the things we're celebrating that God's been doing here.
I'm the Regional Director for Fellowship Pacific. I'm really encouraged as we move forward in the COVID-19 world to see how leaders are stepping up to be salt and light in their world. I spent the last 2 days with young leaders in our Immerse program, 9 of them, talking about discipleship. These are leaders from Richmond, from Surrey, from Coquitlam, from Nanaimo, from Houston, from Ladner, just scattered across our region. And they're absolutely committed to seeing the gospel of Jesus Christ move forward. They're totally sold out on developing as leaders as they try to be increasing difference makers in the world in which they exist, in the church that they're with, the communities all around them. It's going to be really exciting as we look back after COVID-19 and see how the gospel of Jesus Christ moved forward when it seemed like the world was frozen.
And my name is Wes. I'm the pastor here at Dunbar Heights Baptist Church in Vancouver, and what I'm seeing God do here amongst His people is really a powerful movement of His Spirit as He draws us into deeper intimacy with Himself, with each other, and with our neighbor, as we're just provided with incredible opportunities right now to serve those that we've been placed around as we're scattered all around this city. Happy Fellowship Sunday.